I told you the government just handed out $1,000 bonuses to newborns, but at the exact same time, they quietly slashed your Social Security benefits. Well, it's called the MAGA account. And I know it sounds great on paper. Babies born after 2024 will automatically get free government cash just for being born. It's kind of like, just pass and go. Like, just instead of $200, you're getting $1,000. But here's the dirty secret here. You got the headlines focusing on these cute new perks. Millions of Americans who paid into Social Security their whole lives just got blindsided by this massive delay to their benefits, and barely anybody's even talking about it. Yep. So this isn't just a bureaucratic tweak. This is a permanent financial hit for anyone who's born in 1960 or later. Now ask yourself this. Were you born in 1960 or later? Just drop a yes or no, guys. And if you don't know the full story, you could lose thousands of dollars. So why are they giving money to newborns while cutting support for the very people who actually built this country? I know, it's a good question. Well, in today's video, I want to go ahead and share with you guys the truth that they're hiding, how Trump's plan gives basically with one hand, while the system's quietly taking it away with the other hand. So I'm going to walk you guys through the real changes to retirement age, how this is already slashing benefits, and what is actually buried deep into the big, beautiful bill. So trust me, guys, once you see what's inside, you're going to be mad at Congress. And you're also going to see what's inside the 2025 estimations. You're also going to understand why Americans are already outraged more than ever. Now, let me share with you guys exactly who's going to qualify for the MAGA accounts that we're talking about and how much Social Security you just lost, and this one provision that could have actually saved you money, but it got quietly left out. So let's go and get into it. If you guys appreciate the updates, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. So let's start with what the media wants you to focus on. They want you to focus on the MAGA accounts. Now, this is what's blasting across the headlines right now. You may have seen it. You might not have seen it. And yes, on the surface, I know it sounds patriotic and promising, like, Trump's handing out thousands or at least $1,000 to every newborn to kind of give them a head start toward a better future. And I think it sounds great on the surface. But to be clear, these accounts are real. They're not fake. They're real accounts. If you're a U.S. citizen born between January 1st, 2024 and December 31st, 2028, well, the federal government will deposit $1,000 into a new MAGA account in your name. There's no application needed. There's no strings attached. But here's what they're not telling you. It's only applying to babies. There's nothing for the parents. There's nothing for seniors. There's nothing for anyone who's actually paid into the system their whole lives. So this flashy new policy is great political theater, yeah. But what about the people who are hurting right now? Is there anyone watching this show who's hurting? Who's like, well, what about me? Like, if you're on a fixed income trying to survive skyrocketing rent and food prices, you don't get a MAGA account. If you're about to retire, if you're relying on every dollar in your check, you don't get a MAGA account either. In fact, while you were watching the headlines about MAGA accounts, Congress was quietly locking in one of the biggest cuts to Social Security benefits in decades. And unfortunately, it's already started. So I want to show you exactly how they pulled this off without calling it a cut, but who's getting hit first and how, more importantly, how you may have already lost thousands without realizing it. So let's go ahead and break it down, right? So while newborns are getting $1,000 handed to them, here's what millions of seniors are waking up to in 2025. Your full retirement age just changed again. And no, it wasn't a front page story, no press conference, just a quiet little update that hit your wallet. So if you were born in 1960 or later, you are now officially required to wait until age 67 to get your full Social Security benefits. Not 65 anymore, not 66. This is now locked in, and it's already affecting millions of Americans this year. Comment down below if you knew anything about this. Did you know that the retirement age just got extended out, so you got to wait 2 years longer now? Let me know, guys. And also, let me know if you were born in 1960 or after. Obviously, I was. So let me explain what this really means. You can still claim your benefits at age 62, but the penalty for doing so, you're going to get hit with a 30% cut for the rest of your life. So instead of getting $1,000 a month, you'll just get $700 forever, all because you didn't wait an extra 5 years. They're calling it an adjustment. But let's be clear, guys. Let's be honest. This is a backdoor cut. They didn't lower the dollar amount. They just moved the goalposts. So you pay in for decades, only to be told, oh, wait a little bit longer for what you already earned. Years. So if you're 65 or you're close to it, you've probably got a pile of Medicare junk mail that you never asked for, right? You ever open the mailbox and you just got all this junk mails, all this Medicare crap in there? Well, here's something better. Chapter. They're not here to sell you one plan. They compare every option that's out there. They make sure that your doctors are covered and they help you to get the best deal possible. Julie from Kansas, she saved $400 a year. Jamie in Texas, she saved $600 a year. Chapter was started by people whose own family got screwed over. Their own parents got some bad advice, so they built a company to fix that problem. So give Chapter a call right now. Their phone number is 909-563-8279, or you can reach them on the web. It's probably actually easier on the web at askchapter.org/Ron, and just get some free, honest Medicare help. So who's getting hit right now, guys? I know this isn't some theoretical change for future generations. This actually is affecting anyone turning 65 years old in 2025. Comment down below if you're turning 65 this year in 2025. Now think about it. There's probably one or two people at least watching this video right now. Over 4 million Americans turn 65 this year. Statistically. So these people, who've worked, saved, planned based on being able to retire at 65 years old to get full retirement, they're now being told, oh, sorry, hold on a second, guys. Wait 2 more years. Does that sound fair to you? I don't think so. I think it's devastating. I'm not turning 65 this year, but I can only imagine if I were turning 65, how devastated I would be. Anybody happy about this? Because people who thought that they were just weeks away from retirement are now facing an extra 24 months of financial pressure, rising healthcare costs, and inflation eating away at their savings. And we're not even guaranteed to live that long, are we? And this is being done without most people even realizing that it's already in effect. That's right. Social Security Administration, they published the update, but unless you clicked deep into the PDF file, you probably missed it. And that's by design. And if you are just learning about this, think about how many other people don't know anything about this. Make sure you tell your friends, because a lot of people just don't know. You can also share this video if you don't want to go through the whole explanation process, but you're going to also see why this adjustment is just the beginning, and more importantly, why the real collapse of Social Security is already on the calendar. Plus, I want to go ahead and show you guys what was supposed to be in Trump's bill that got cut at the last minute, what it really means for every retiree who's still kind of holding out hope at this point. So stick with me, because what I'm about to share with you guys affects every working American, whether you're 25 or 65 years old. Now, you might be wondering, why now, right? Why move the full retirement age up to 67 years old in 2025, right? Well, guys, the truth is this really isn't new. It's been quietly building ever since 1983. And now we're hitting the breaking point. So the Social Security Administration's own documents show this is the final step in a phased hike. And in 2025, it hits hard because of one thing. They're calling it the silver tsunami. So that's basically the nickname for the huge wave of baby boomers hitting retirement right now. In 2025 alone, over 4 million Americans, they're going to turn 65. Guys, that's more people retiring and drawing benefits than ever before in U.S. history. So they knew that this was going to be coming for decades. And instead of fixing the system, well, they quietly kicked the can down the road. They shifted the burden onto you, and they didn't raise Social Security checks. They raised the age, and they called it a solvency reform. Clever, huh? So now let's talk about what Trump did actually put into the new tax bill, because there is no denying it. It does include some powerful changes. So take a look at this. So no tax on tips, right? If you work in a tip profession like hospitality, maybe you're a waitress, waiter, food service, doorman, your tips will be fully deductible between 2025 and 2028. There's no tax on overtime premium, so you'll no longer pay taxes on the overtime premium, the extra amount you earn over your regular wage. A $4,000 standard deduction boost for seniors, aimed at helping retirees cope with inflation and rising costs. And of course, the MAGA accounts for newborns. But here's the uncomfortable truth. None of that actually saves Social Security. These are short-term perks. They're not structural fixes. And the one thing that Trump promised that would have directly helped retirees, somehow Congress decided to leave it out. Well, of course, I need to reveal with you guys what's that missing promise and why 40% of retirees are still being taxed on their benefits even after these relief measures are made the news. So you've probably been following Trump's reform. You've probably heard that this promise, the promise has been made a few times. I will end the taxation on Social Security benefits, right? Now, Trump said it at rallies, on Truth Social, and even in press interviews. But to be fair, he meant to do it. The proposal to eliminate federal income taxes on Social Security checks was originally part of the framework for what he called the One Big Beautiful Bill. But here's what actually happened. Congress stripped it out. Why? Because under Senate reconciliation rules, you can't include that kind of permanent revenue loss without a full budget offset. In plain English, they just couldn't make the math work without a major political fight. So what happened? Well, they gave us tax-free tips, tax-free overtime, but they left 40% of retirees still paying federal taxes on the very checks that they've already paid into and were already taxed on to begin with. That's right, guys. For millions of Americans, this is still a double tax. I know. Anybody upset about that? Anybody happy about that? I mean, you worked, you paid into Social Security your whole life, and now they tax the very benefits that you finally get to collect on. But here's the part that almost nobody's talking about. Social Security is running out of money, and there's already a date on the calendar. So according to the latest trustee report, the retirement fund or retirement trust fund will be fully depleted by the year 2033. Now, after that, the government will only have enough incoming payroll taxes to pay 77% of the promised benefits. So what this means is if you're expecting a $1,000 check, you'll get $770 instead. Now, this is not theoretical, it's actually law unless something changes. So while the media is talking about newborns getting $1,000 MAGA accounts, seniors are looking at the future where their hard-earned benefits are getting slashed by nearly a quarter. That's the reality. Now, of course, we need to talk about the two competing political plans to fix this mess. We got Elon Musk's Doge crackdown and, of course, the Democrats' tax the rich solution. But the truth is, neither one may be enough. So let's go ahead and break this down. I want to talk about what they're proposing and what's being ignored, and that's probably what's even more important. So keep watching, guys. By the way, if you haven't already, if you appreciate the updates, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for joining us on the live. But now you've probably already heard the buzz, Elon Musk and the Doge initiative. That's the Department of Government Efficiency, and it's being tasked with rooting out fraud, waste, abuse across government federal programs, including Social Security. Now, the idea, it sounds amazing on paper. Eliminate phantom payments, expose the shell accounts, claw back billions of dollars in misused government funds. And yes, some of those efforts are already in motion. But here's the hard truth. Even if Doge recovered every dollar of fraud, still might not be enough money to stop the 2033 collapse. Because this isn't just about waste, it's about math. And Doge can slow the bleeding, thankfully, but without structural reform, it's like putting duct tape on a sinking ship. It might buy us some time, but it won't save the system. So, how are lawmakers responding to this looming crisis? Not with unity, not with urgency, but with more division. So here's what both sides are pushing right now. So you got the Republicans' plan, raise the retirement age again for future retirees, claim it's a modest adjustment tied to life expectancy, avoid the tax increases at all costs. Then you got Democrats' plan, introduce the Social Security and Medicare Fair Share Act, impose payroll tax on incomes above $400,000, which are currently exempt due to the $168,600 cap, and push the narrative that the wealthy should pay more to protect what Americans have earned. Now, let me ask you guys, comment down below. Whose plan do you think is better? Do you think Republicans' plan is better, or do you think the Democrat plan is better? Let me know. Now, both sides are quote unquote protecting Social Security, but ask yourself this. How is it that we're still losing ground year after year while politicians keep pointing fingers instead of passing real solutions, and politicians keep getting raises? Rather interesting. Now, of course, I'm going to expose the most deceptive part of this whole situation, how the feel-good MAGA account headline is being used to cover up the real cuts, and how it's already impacting your future. So I think this is probably going to change how you see everything, guys. Now, let's be honest. MAGA accounts were designed to make everyone feel good. I know it's a flashy headline, it's a feel-good perk, a symbolic gesture of prosperity, but only for babies who haven't even paid a single dime into the system yet. Meanwhile, people who've worked 40, 50, 60 years, the ones who built this country, are being told, hey, you're going to have to wait a little longer. You'll get less. Oh, and by the way, we're still going to continue to tax you. It's a hard pill to swallow. It's hard to stomach this. Millions of seniors are working longer. It's probably why you see a lot of older people. You ever see a lot of older people working in Walmart? Anybody ever notice that? Millions of seniors are having to work longer. They're stretching every dollar and they're watching their benefits shrink as inflation surges and trust in the system crumbles. You've done your part already. You paid in, but the system is not keeping its promise. And while they hand out $1,000 to newborns for political points, you're left fighting for scraps. This isn't just some policy update or debate anymore. This is about survival at this point. This is about whether the people who played by the rules are going to get the retirement that they were promised, or are they just going to get more empty headlines? Does anybody feel like this is like a Ponzi scheme, maybe a racket, or just outright theft? Well, the media is not going to tell you this. They'll cover the MAGA account. They'll celebrate the tax-free tips. But the real truth is the part that affects your future. It's buried in the PDFs. It's buried in the committee votes. And it's buried in silence. So guys, if you're feeling betrayed by the system, if you've paid in and now you're feeling like you're being pushed aside, you're not alone. I mean, this channel is here to expose the truth. I want to sound the alarm, and I want to make sure you're not left in the dark. So do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with someone who needs to hear it, because the only way we can fix this is if we stop falling for distractions, and we need to start demanding the truth. By the way, if you're 65 years old or older, maybe your parents are, maybe your grandparents are, reach out to our friends over at Chapter. The average senior saves about $1,100 a year on their Medicare when they work with Chapter. So work with the folks who are looking out for seniors, because Lord knows our government certainly is not. All right, guys, I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.